U.S. Lacrosse presents the 2017 NFHS Rules Interpretation video. (2017) NFHS Points of Emphasis. The points of emphasis identified for the 2017 season are coaches and team area, defenseless hits, blindside hits, mouthpiece fitting, and a reminder of the cross change in 2018. Coaches and team area. The only time a coach is allowed to enter the lacrosse field is to attend to an injured player, to warm up a goalkeeper, or during halftime. If a coach is on the field of play for any other instance and the coach does not have permission from an official, it is considered a foul. Officials are encouraged to enforce this rule and keep coaches restricted to the sideline and coaches area during live play, during timeouts, and between quarters. Defenseless hits. An illegal body check includes but is not limited to hitting a defenseless player from the blind side, a body check when the player's head is down and where there is a check to the player whose head is turned. It is important that officials watch for these hits and call them as directed in the rules book. Coaches are also instructed to properly teach their players legal hits to a competitor, including when and where it is legal to hit a competitor. Blindside hits. A body check that targets a player in a defenseless position that includes but is not limited to a player who has his head down or head turned away, or even if the player turns toward contact immediately before the contact, is dangerous and illegal. The penalty for excessive hits to the head and neck is in place as an effort to eliminate this type of contact from the game. Officials should enforce the penalties for illegal body checks. Coaches should continue to educate their players about how to make a proper body check and the dangers and risks of unnecessary or excessive contact. Mouthpiece fitting. Mouthpieces cannot be clear and must be of any visible color other than white to allow for easier rule enforcement by officials. Coaches should instruct players to have their mouthpieces properly in their mouths at all times. Fish hooking is not permitted during live ball play, and officials should enforce a technical foul on any player that does not properly wear his mouthpiece. A reminder of the cross change in 2018. The committee defined cross dimensions and specifications at different locations to address issues with the ball being stuck in the cross. This change in equipment will begin in 2018 to allow for phased implementation. 2017 NFHS Rule Changes. Rule 1-3-2A. This rule now allows but does not require ground anchors for lacrosse goals. Rule 4-3-1, Exception 2. This rule now reads, if a player or team commits a foul before any face-off, the ball will be awarded to the offended team in its offensive side of the field at the center. This ensures that any pre-whistle violation awards the ball to the offended team with a 10-second advancement count beginning on the restart. Rule 4-3-3. This rule was updated due to the new handle materials that are already in production. It now reads, paint, a single wrap of tape, or other material of contrasting color to the head may now be used on the handle of the cross for any player taking a face-off. Rule 4-18-4. This rule was changed to protect defensive players. No defensive player other than a properly equipped goalkeeper can enter his own crease with a perceived intent on blocking a shot or acting as a goalkeeper. The penalty for a player's first offense is a conduct foul. A second violation by the same player will be enforced as a releasable unsportsmanlike conduct foul. Officials will stop play as soon as they notice the situation, but if a shot is already in flight when this is noticed, the shot will be allowed to come to its normal conclusion before the whistle blows to stop play. Rule 6-5-2. This rule change makes the failure to have or properly wear a mouthpiece a technical foul unless it comes out during play. The Rules Committee agreed this change will make officials more likely to call this violation and should bring greater compliance from players. Since mouthpiece fitting is a point of emphasis for this season, officials are expected to make the call if discovered during play or during random or coach-requested equipment checks. Rule 6-10-3. This rule was changed because the current automatic stall warning in the last 2 minutes of a game creates a dangerous situation where a team that is out of the game is given more opportunity to punish the team that is winning. This rule now reads, during the last 2 minutes of regulation play, stalling rules are in effect for the team that is ahead by 4 goals or less. When the score differential is 5 goals or more, neither team is forced to keep the ball in the goal area. Check progressions. This section shows legal and illegal body and stick checking to differentiate between appropriate checking and excessive illegal checks. Stick check progressions. In this clip, the players for the red defensive team execute proper stick checks to the gloved hands and stick of the different ball carriers. In this clip, the white defender uses short, quick checks that touch the opposing player to establish distance and time checks. He also uses his bottom hand against the offensive player's body to force the player to change direction before finally checking the stick out of his hands. This is a good example of controlled, aggressive checks by the defender. Sometimes a large windup connects to the cross or gloved hand. In this clip, Red 16 throws a one-handed stick check to the clearing player. The check connects and the official correctly allows play to continue without a flag for a slash or a hold. Even though there may be contact with the free hand of the red player, there is no advantage gained as the white player runs nearly unimpeded toward his half of the field. In contrast to the earlier examples, this clip shows a white riding player slashing a clearing defenseman. With this one-handed check, there is no demonstration of control, and there is no attempt to check the stick. The check lands on the side of the clearing player, and the official correctly throws his flag for a slash. Body check progressions. In this clip, the white wing player, number 29, body checks the red face-off player to allow his teammate a clear path to pick up the ball. This body check is a good example of contact within 5 yards of a loose ball, and the player releases after contact. On this face-off, the green player runs in from the wing and times up a clean body check against the white face-off player. This is a controlled check that hits the opposing player in the side, below the neck, and above the waist. The officials correctly allow play to continue with no flag. Sometimes players recognize that they should not continue a body check or they could receive a penalty. In this clip, the white ball carrier runs around the goal and scores. The sliding red defender is late to the shooter, eases up, and does not complete the body check, which would have been a late hit. Notice the trail official watches the shooter and correctly chooses to not throw the flag. This clip shows a white defender using his cross as the initial point of contact when body checking his opponent. This should be called as a cross-check, and the player should serve a 1-minute personal foul. This clip shows the official correctly calling an offensive player for unnecessary roughness while setting up a screen. The player sets a screen and extends his elbows into the red player's helmet after contact. Notice the red player swinging his stick to the white player's legs. This play is a good reminder that officials must watch players at all times, and especially after flags, to ensure that further illegal actions are not missed. Face-offs. The face-off rules were changed last season to allow the officials to put players into a legal position. The changes led to cleaner face-offs and better wing play, and the Rules Committee is pleased with how officials have conducted face-offs with the new rules. Officials must still be vigilant on every face-off and ensure that they place the ball in the center of the crosses and say, "set," with their hand on the heads of each stick. Officials should also vary their whistle with each face-off and pay close attention to the immediate action following the whistle to ensure that the players use legal, fair tactics to win the face-off. Over and back. The over and back rule, added last season, led to offensive teams working hard to keep the ball in their half of the field after advancing the ball into the attack box, and created opportunities for exciting, fast breaks in the event of a violation. Officials must be aware of potential over and back situations and work to position themselves in the best spot on the field in order to make the correct call or no call. Additionally, officials have to ensure the restart is legal, with the ball carrier stationary and 5 yards away from all other players. When there are extended loose balls but no possession by the opposing teams, officials must be aware of the possibility of over and back by the offensive team should they recover possession of the ball. Finally, officials need to recognize when over and back does not apply. This occurs on shots and deflections off of defensive players where the ball touches or crosses the midfield line. Crease violations. Plays around the crease are always challenging due to the speed of the players and the action that happens regularly around the goal. Here are 3 clips of officials in good position making crease calls. In this clip, the red team advances the ball into the box and passes quickly to a player in the front of the crease. He shoots and misses and falls into the crease. The lead official is in excellent position and makes an emphatic crease violation signal before awarding possession to the opposing team. This clip illustrates great communication between 2 officials on a crease violation. The white player runs from behind the goal but steps into the crease while attempting to shoot. The officials whistle the play dead immediately and then jog to their positions to ensure that play can be restarted quickly. This clip shows how difficult crease calls can be and how important good positioning is to making the call. The red player with the ball passes across the crease to his teammate on the far side. While the ball is in the air, red number 2 reaches up for the pass, is stick-checked by the defender, and lands with his hands in the crease just before a goal is scored. The official runs in with a big signal, turns the ball over, and restarts play while his partner jogs up the field to be ready for the clear. This concludes the 2017 NFHS Rules Interpretation video. For additional resources, go to www.uslacrosse.org/rules/boys-rules to view the Youth Boys Lacrosse Rules video, order rule books, or submit rules questions or possible rules changes to US Lacrosse and the NFHS. Officials are encouraged to view the U.S. Lacrosse Central Hub at www.uslacrosse.arbitersports.com for officiating news, articles, rules, tests, upcoming training clinics, and instructional videos on rules and mechanics. Thank you for watching this rules interpretation video. The NFHS and U.S. Lacrosse wishes you a terrific season.